Hi, and welcome to my next video of my Ninja Turtle fan film. I hope you guys enjoyed the first one. This one we're going to get into a bit more some technical details in Blender, show you some of the rigs that I've made for the characters of the film. So let's just crack on and do it. Okay, so we'll just start here with this very simple rig that I made for the practice dummy. I already showed it to you in the sewer tour. If you haven't seen that, please watch my previous video, which is the first in the series of this kind of development log slash diary of my up and coming Ninja Turtle animation. So I'll just have a quick look at this and we'll move on to a more exciting character. It has some bones attached to it here, so we can swivel this round. The top piece, this doesn't really do anything exciting. No, you wouldn't want to do that. It doesn't look right. So yeah, that just swivels around, and then the rope is rigged as well. So if somebody does come along and smash into it, or Raph throws his size at it, it could go badoosh, oof, 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 something like that, but with better sound effects, obviously. And then the whole stuffed guy, he's like a total sad sack guy, I don't know who he is, but he's got bones for each limb. Again, my rigging is not great, but it does the job. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this, so let's move on to something a bit more exciting. Okay, so here's a more interesting character. This is Ice Cream Kitty. This is the cat that Mikey allowed mutagen ice cream to get near, and she drank it and became this monstrosity. He's actually quite cute. So this is Ice Cream Kitty, quite a simple model that I made of Ice Cream Kitty. I just tried to get the basics of her because she's not got a lot of time in the movie, but I just wanted to get her to look like what she looks like in the cartoon. So I'm going to switch on all the bones and stuff. Go to pose mode so I can show you they've got like head movement there. Didn't bother rigging the whiskers, but the ears are done just in case. Although, as you can see, I've clearly not rigged that one very well. Yeah, and I'll have to look at that later on. The eyes don't move; they are just fixed because they're just a black splodge, so they don't need to be able to move. And obviously, you can move her arms. Yeah, she has paws. Obviously, didn't bother rigging the individual little finger things. Toes, I guess, would be what a cat has. But the tail's rigged, so she can move her tail around a wee bit. If I look in here, she does have some sort of movement here. Maybe I need to go up a bit to make that look a bit nicer. But yeah, there you go. That's her. Meow, meow. Yeah. And then just quickly switch to object mode, and if we look at the shape key, this is what she's supposed to look like when she's, like, I guess, flying through the air or something. But when she's sitting, I made this little shape key so she can sit like that. And yeah, that is Ice Cream Kitty. There's not much more to talk about her, so yeah, we'll just move on to something else. Okay, so finally today we're going to look at Leo. Yeah, I hope you like the look of him. To me, he looks fairly accurate to the Nickelodeon TV show. I know my modelling skills are not brilliant. There's a few creases in the mesh here and there from the rig, but anyway, as I go on, I'll get better. So Leo has actually got the Rigify rig that comes with Blender. It's really great to set up, and everyone's ready for animation once you've got it set up. So for instance, let me just switch off these hand toggles here. So as soon as I rigged Leo and whatever, I could then pose him like this. Right now his feet have got inverse kinematics on, so that his feet stay still. If I lift them up too high, they come up, which is good. And obviously I can actually grab his feet and move them about. I can obviously pose the feet part as well. The toes can move a little bit as well. They're not perfectly rigged, but I've not really used them too much so far. So let's put that back, put the foot back. There we go. Just cancel the rotation and positioning there. Yeah, so Leo is all ready for punching. Whoop-a-douche, whoop-a-douche. Hopefully he's got better technique than that. As you can see, I've got your scabbard on the back of his shell there. The swords are not in, if that makes sense. So if I try to grab one of the swords and pull it out, you'll see that there is no blade. I just kind of switch between blades and handles when I'm getting them to pull out the swords from the sheath. It's cheating, but it looks effective, and it saves having to worry about sword models popping out by accident and stuff. Oh yeah, his hands there. Using Rigify, you just scale these out here, which is great for bending the fingers, and also you can move the knuckle as well. Up at the back of the head there, we have his bandana, which is not dynamic, it's just all done by hand. I might, if I do another episode of this, I probably will make it dynamic, just to make it a bit something that I don't have to worry about when I'm animating. But when I am animating, it's nice to use that for secondary animation, just to give the illusion of air resistance and weight and stuff. If we look at Elo's mouth, we can open it up. Whoa, maybe too much there. Yeah, he's got a jaw, obviously. And if I open it back up, you can see that his tongue is in his mouth. That can be moved, and it's got a few levels of bendiness, if that makes sense. Just before I show you some shake keys that I've got, you probably noticed that his eyes are just white. When it's rendered, the pupil and the iris, whatever, do show up. It's just that I'm doing his eyes in a strange way that I've never done before. So the eye bones, which are actually here, if I move this central one, you'll see that it doesn't make any difference. But these two little bones are actually targets for some cubes, and the cubes, actually they should be on this layer here. So these cubes, if I move this, these cubes actually project the picture of the iris onto the white eye. The white eye is kind of flat, so I just wasn't really sure how to make the eyes look good. I did some tests using lattices, and I just wasn't happy. But since using this technique, I've realised I should just have stuck to lattices. Lattices are a kind of cage for meshes to hold them in a particular shape, even if they're getting animated. I'm not really explaining that very well, but if you've used any kind of 3D software before, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to switch off these eyes. So there you can see, once he's rendered, the eyes do turn up, they come out okay. And when I move those bones, those boxes then point towards the bones, and the eyes move across the white of the eye quite well. But like I say, I will not use that technique again. I'm just not really happy with it. But there we go, that's what I did for this particular episode. I think that'll probably do. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below, and I will answer them as quick as I can. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video of the rigs and characters that I've been making for my fan film of the Ninja Turtles. Please like and subscribe, and you won't miss any of my weekly videos, which are coming out every Friday. And hopefully we'll have a countdown to the release of the actual film. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. let's crack right on there and start watching stuff. I'm not ready yet. Is it blue?